Hey friends, happy Saturday, April 2nd. It's nice to be with you. I am Father Bill Hill, one of the parish priests at Holy Spirit Catholic Community in Rock Springs, Wyoming. It's nice to take a moment and to pray with you today. For those of you who work regular work weeks, I hope that this weekend might be a time of some rest and some recreation in God, not just a time to switch over and work even harder over the course of these next 2 days. Hey, parish announcements, there's a link in the sidebar to the Disciple Maker Index. If you're a member of Holy Spirit, asking you to take 15 minutes and fill out that survey. And would love you to make plans to celebrate the Sacrament of Reconciliation. Tuesday night, April 5th at 6 p.m. over at Our Lady of Sorrows, we have a communal celebration of the Sacrament of Reconciliation. And Saturdays from 2 to 3:30, we have a celebration as well of the sacrament. So would love to have you join us. All right, I'll give you a daily reflection on the readings. They're linked on the sidebar. Read them prayerfully when I'm done and then turn off your screen. The readings today are from John's Gospel and the first reading is from Jeremiah. I maybe kind of conflated a bit of yesterday's Gospel with today's, so feel free to listen to yesterday's too. But we hear here kind of a behind-the-scenes dispute between leaders in the Sanhedrin and the guards and Nicodemus, one of the leading Pharisees as well. And the Pharisees are criticizing first the guards for not arresting Jesus and then criticizing Nicodemus for standing up for rule of law, asking, when did we become a mob? When did we not give people the right to a fair trial? And the dispute here is about whether Jesus can be the Christ or the prophet coming from Galilee. And certainly if you were from Judea and especially in Jerusalem, Galilee was a backwater place north of Samaria, definitely not as wonderful as being a religiously upright Jew from Jerusalem or from Judea. That's what's in play here. We might just spend a little bit of time with that question of who is it that we are struggling to listen to? Who is it that we are sure is not coming from God? And that might be in, personal relationships. That might be in geopolitics. It might be in relation to the virus. It might be whatever it is that we're dealing with. And maybe we just sit in silence, holding those things in our hands, trusting that even in the things we don't comprehend, the ways that we judge that we have allies and enemies, that God is using all of this to bring the crucifixion and resurrection of Jesus Christ into its fullness. It's so easy to be convinced that we are on the side of everything that is true and good and right, but to recognize that even in places of shadow, that God is bringing, the light of Christ to bear ever more fully. The first reading is about trusting in God. It's Jeremiah who finds out that people are plotting to kill him. Right? In Jeremiah's case, people will lower him into a cistern so that he passively dies of thirst and heat as opposed to actually actively killing him. But, to just imagine hearing that people are threatening your life, are conspiring against you, what a gut check moment that must be. And to feel abandoned, to feel like the ones that are supposed to be looking after you have kind of washed their hands of it, to take that to the Lord. That's an experience of what Jeremiah might have felt. And to maybe pray that psalm as well about God being our refuge. So often human beings, and so often we maybe, are fickle and capricious and unable to fulfill our duties. And it's that age-old truth of not relying in humans and recognizing the absolute lack of control that we have, but that in surrender, in that lack of control and reliance on God is itself a place of power and strength. A painful sort of a reading, but as we move towards Holy Week and the crucifixion and resurrection of Jesus, we're going to be getting more of these sorts of gut check readings that can remind us of just how painful this world can be, which is why this Lenten journey reminds us of putting our trust in God and not in our own strength and not in human beings. Okay, that's a little bit of a bummer on a Saturday, right? Good news is that God is way more merciful and compassionate than I ever will hope to be. So, enough of Father Bill. Read those readings prayerfully. See what stirs in you. And then spend some time with the merciful and just and always good one, which is God. God bless you, friends.